Well, there we go. That took a little while. That was a little bit difficult, but we did go ahead and get the stream going. My internet connectivity looks a tiny bit spotty, but I'm so glad that we were able to get this going. Soylent Jesus loves you so much that he is preparing a soul farm for you. Soylent Jesus loves you so much that he's preparing a soul farm for you. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. We're bringing you the gospel truth. And the truth is sometimes not what you want to hear. And the gospel truth, what you think is the gospel truth, is not really always the gospel truth. So today I want to share with you some very important information on a scripture that Christians usually celebrate, but it really tells a very different story, a very dark story, a very scary story. So I want to talk to you today about Soylent Jesus preparing a soul farm for you. Now, if you remember Plastic Jesus, we laid him to rest. He's been replaced by Soylent Jesus. Soylent Jesus is people. Soylent Jesus on a stick. Soylent Jesus stick. People eating Soylent Jesus. People cannibalizing Soylent Jesus. The blood and the body in both the straightforward Roman Catholic iteration and in the mamby-pamby, we do it, but we kind of don't want to admit we're doing it, communion. So Soylent Jesus is preparing a soul farm just for you. Jeff Daugherty, what in the world are you talking about? Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. And this may be one of the most important broadcasts that you ever hear, because we're talking about something that no one wants to talk about, but something that is very, very real. We're in John 14. And this is the epitome of a psyop, and this is the epitome of a nasty, dark, horrific psyop. Because Jesus here, Soylent Jesus, is saying, don't let your heart be troubled. You believe in the Lord, believe also in me. For in the Lord's house, there's many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And whithersoever I go, you know, and the way you know. This is pure dung. This should not have been added. John chapter 14 should have started with verse number 5. But instead, they use linguistic chicanery and put this dung in. And there's a few things that this tells us. Number one, it tells us that there were people that were troubled. People were worried about what's going on. People were beginning, and I think it was mainly the Gnostics that were beginning to figure out, wait a second, this God is the demiurge, it's the Lord, and he is trying to get us to go into soul farms. They understood the concept of being trapped in the afterlife by this being called the demiurge. He was the Father, and they had figured it out, and they knew that there were places he was sending them to. So now, King James translators come on the scene, add this, and add deceptive language. How many people have you heard celebrating the fact that, oh, I get to have a mansion in heaven? How many people are so excited to have a mansion in heaven, and that is not anything close to what? Not anything close to what was actually said. And I'm going to show you why. If we go to the Greek, we read this. Don't let your heart be troubled. Disturbed, agitated, stirred up. Why were they disturbed, agitated, and stirred up in their hearts? Because they had heard that things were going bad. They had heard about this demiurge. He's saying, you believe in God, also believe in me. And here's where we get to the real diabolical nature of this. In the house, in the household, in the dwelling, in the mitan, in the goods, in the property of my Father. So look at that. Among the property, among the place of dwelling, among the household, among this inhabited place, among his goods. Right there, it's telling you that you are counted among his goods. And in that, there are many. Where'd the mansions go? It's not a mansion. It's a lodging, a dwelling place, a room, an abode. A little dwelling place. What does the original word say? Some place for you to wait. It's a waiting room. So there's no mansion prepared for you. It's a waiting room. A room. It's only used twice. And it's not transitory. You're supposed to be there forever. In the Father's house, in the Lord's house, there are many rooms. There's not mansions. There's rooms. There's dwelling places and your property. If it weren't the truth, I would have told you. But Soylent Jesus says, I am going to make ready, to prepare a place. Why would the God of the universe have to prepare a place? I'm going to make arrangements. I'm going to make the necessary preparations. I'm going to get everything ready. It's very, very fishy. There's a place that's been prepared by the Father, says the New American Standard. The International Version says it has been prepared. I have prepared my dinner. That's what you call a parallel passage, the same word. I prepared my dinner. I prepared the oxen. Prepared for the devil. Are you starting to get a sense of what I'm saying to you? He's got a place prepared for you to go and be in a holding pen until you become dinner. Jeff, are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. And so is the gospel truth about this. It's very serious. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your heart should be troubled. You should believe in the Elohim and not in the demiurge, not in Soylent Jesus. Because in the Lord's house, there are many rooms, holding pens for those things that are about to be dinner. That's what the gospel truth says. And he is going to prepare a place. And when he comes again, he's going to receive you. What does that mean? 14:3. He's going to receive you. He's going to take you. He's going to aggressively take you. He's going to aggressively take you. What's the root word? Not much help there. What's this other root word? He's going to lay hold on you. It emphasizes the volition of the receiver. He's going to snatch your ass and hold you in a pen until he eats you. To take with the hand, to lay hold of. To take in order to carry away. To seize, to take forcibly. To take what is one's own, you're his property. To claim and procure, you're his property. To seize, to apprehend, to get possession of. To take by craft or catch. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Used of hunters. To circumvent one by fraud. To collect. He's a soul collector. How do you feel about this? This is why you listen to the gospel truth, because you don't see this stuff anywhere else, because no one else is going to tell you this kind of truth. No one else is going to break this to you. Everyone else wants to talk to you about mansions and unicorns and rainbows. Everybody else wants to talk to you about rapture coming and you getting caught up in the harpazo with the Lord in the air and everything's happy and wonderful and we're all singing Kumbaya together. But that's not the truth. Yes, Soylent Jesus is coming again. Not really, because he's not even a real person. Soylent Jesus is coming again. But guess what? He's coming to take hold of you, possession of you, and snatch you. The source material is called The Gospel Truth, John chapter 14, from the BibleHub.com. That's what the source material is. My Father's house has many mansions. If you think about that, that's absurd. A house cannot have mansions, but a mansion can have houses. Well put, Doc Illusion. Jeff validates Gnosticism. Well, kind of, sort of. It's a house of the zodiac. No, I don't go with that. Thank you. I'm glad you've been waiting, Darlene. We're being called now. That's not true either, Doc Illusion. Sorry. I don't believe it's in Zoroastrianism. Hello, don't you know we're on Rex Show just cut now? Oh. I didn't notice that Rex was on. The source material is the gospel truth. It's the book of John, chapter 14, from the BibleHub.com. It is mind-based mind control, trauma-based mind control. That's what it is. So yes, he is going to prepare a place for you. Yes, he is coming back for you. And yes, he is going to snatch you away. And these September 23 people are celebrating the fact that they want to be snatched away. Held in pens as property until you can be eaten. That's what Soylent Jesus really has prepared for you. That's what Christianity has prepared for you. And that's why during this 7-year period from 2017 and the completion of the Christ, the rise of Sophia, the female Christ to join the male Christ, you've got 7 years to figure out if you want to be a rabbit or a squirrel. Do you want to be involved in the Jesus worship Christian faith, or do you want to be involved in worshiping the Christ? It's up to you. Soylent Jesus and Christianity have a place prepared for you. The Christ is preparing you to go where you want to go. Christianity has a place staked out for you. The Christ empowers you to go where you want to go. When you leave this mud hut body, if you follow someone's direction, leading or guiding, you're a fool, and you will end up in a soul farm. If you follow your own intuition and go where you know to go, or don't go, just stay till you do know, then you will be successful. This whole world is to prepare you mentally to have the mind of a slave, to have the mind of a drone, to have the mind of a soul farm participant, because you are a soul farm participant here in this life. And they're just getting you ready. They're preparing you to be a slave eternally until they literally suck you dry of all your energetic essence and then munch on your carcass. Right now, they're preparing you. And Soylent Jesus is preparing the place for you to come after this. I've just shown you from the gospel truth. It's a pen, it's a holding cell for property until it's time to eat you. It'd be much easier to talk about mansions and kicking up gold dust on Glory Avenue, streets of gold and gates of pearl. Don't you know? Why do you think they make it look so magnificent and sound so magnificent? Because they're trying to get you into it. They're trying to get you into it. Whenever they oversell something, that's when you got to say, wait a minute, something doesn't sound right. Because, folks, if it's too good to be true, it's usually too good to be true. Plastic Jesus, Soylent Jesus is preparing a soul farm for you. And that thing that makes you want to just go along, that thing that makes you say, oh, I should believe them because they know better than me, that thing that makes you say, well, you know what, everybody else is doing it, everybody can't be wrong, that's what they're trying to program you with. Soylent Jesus is preparing a place for you in his Father's house. And it's a holding cell to keep you in until it's time to eat you and devour you and to suck you dry of all life force and then discard your corpse, the bones of your corpse, after they have extracted every iota of nourishment that they can glean from it. Not necessarily fun news, but that is good news because it equips you and empowers you to know what's going on and take appropriate action. That's what the gospel truth is all about. Showing you, teaching you. I lead you to water. I don't force you to drink. I lead you to the gospel truth. I don't force you to think. Because a man or a woman convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. I just deliver the mail. I'm doing my best to divorce myself from the end result because I just got to do what I am called to do, and you've got to do the rest. It isn't up to me. It's up to you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This has been the gospel truth about soul farms and Soylent Jesus preparing them for you. And there you have it, folks. I can't tell you any more clear. I can't tell you with any more plainness. I can't tell you with any more certainty. There you go. That's for you. From me to you, doing all I can to get you to the place where you can understand what's going on and make appropriate decisions. I'll be back again today with much more interesting information, much more helpful information. We may not be talking about the thing that everybody's talking about, but we're talking about things that are really going to make a difference in your life. This is not sensationalism central. This is not, oh my, central. This is real world, gospel truth, rubber meets the road, help you spiritually ascend. Not here to tickle you, not here to feed your lust for things that are spectacular and exciting, here to bring you back to the gospel truth, things that are tested by time, proven by experience, and allowing you access to things that you might not ever find access to if you had to do it all on your own. So there you go. I salute those of you that are here seeking truth. Until next time, remember, you don't have original sin within. You got the spark of divinity within. Thank you, sheepdog philosophy. And love yourself. Be excellent to yourself. And that will allow you to be excellent to each other, and we can all be excellent to each other. Does anyone have any questions for me? We'll entertain those before we go. We will entertain those before we go. Any questions? Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it very much. And I just started making a divining rod, so I think it calls for at least a divining rod or two, a divining rod question or two. So if anyone has a yes or no question for the divining rods, a yes or no question from the divining rods, such as Renaissance woman just put in, are chakras evil? The rods say yes, and I say yes because they're not organic to our spiritual body. They're part of this mud hut that the demiurge, Yahweh, Lord, Marduk, rat bastard, created. No questions, corn fused. Anyone else have a question? Is corn bad? Are we serious? Is corn bad? That corn is not real good for you. Actually, Doc Illusion, we went over this last night. There were Christian-based Gnostics, and there were non-Christian-based Gnostics. The Christian-based Gnostics were from Syria, or based in Syria, and the Alexandrian Gnostics were known to be much more accepting and open to different faiths. So it's not correct to say that there were not Christian Gnostics, nor is it correct to say there were not pagan Gnostics. There were both. And in my opinion, the Alexandrian Gnostics, who were open to more truth than the Syrian ones, who tend to be exclusive in their Christianity, are the ones that had better understanding. Will I kick my addictions? Yes, you will. Ooh, my name is Blue. I gave you a wrench. So if anybody acts stupid, Ashley, you can put them in timeout. Don't ban them the first time out, but put them in timeout. And then you can block them. Renaissance Woman says, can I leave my crown chakra open? Yes, you can. I don't want to do that, Kimberly. That's too much to ask of a rod. I get asked this a lot, Anna. Do I talk about the lost years of Jesus? There are no lost years of Jesus. This whole concept of the lost years of Jesus comes from the idea that the Christ was born as a baby in Bethlehem, and he went, and we didn't hear nothing about him till he was like 32 years old. There's a reason why we didn't hear anything about him till he was 32 years old. There's a reason why all those years were lost, because there was no Jesus born in Bethlehem. There was no baby lying in a manger. There was no Ricky Bobby, golden frilly diapers, Tom Cruise's God, ninja, Jesus. There was none. The Apostle John tells us that the Christ came into this world as a fully grown dude, and that the Apostle Paul made up the baby Jesus stories to align with the Roman pantheon to get more people accepting the story. The missing years of Jesus are all missing because they're missing, because they weren't there. There was no baby Jesus born in Bethlehem. It is stolen from other religions. It never happened. And the Christ came as a full-grown man. That's what the Apostle John tells us, no doubt about it. He wasn't ever 12 to 30, so he was never there. Never. Am I on the correct path to knowledge? Gary Baxter, am I on the correct path to knowledge? Yes, you are. Sheepdog, will I kick my addictions? Yes, you will. And it seems like in short order. Can I leave my crown chakra open? You can do whatever you want. Yep. Kimberly, I don't want to ask that. Stay strong. Absolutely. I have something to say about Jesus. You can say whatever you want. And I can remove it if I want to. He wasn't anywhere from 12 to 30 because he wasn't there. Good job, Ashley, from the stars. Oh, man. Paul Lee. Bam. Ho, ho, ho. That is gold. Jesus slaves. Oh, my goodness. That's solid gold. That is solid gold. I love it. Paul Lee, Jesus slaves. That's great. That's better than Jesus saves by clipping coupons. Jesus slaves. Wow. You can't have anything better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. Jesus slaves. Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Oh, we got another couple of questions I didn't see. Will my business be successful? Yes. Jesus is the highest magician. I don't think Jesus ever existed, Ashley. But there you go. You crack me up. Thanks. I crack me up sometimes too. Well, I do appreciate you folks very much. We'll be back later with some more interesting information. I just did will your new business be successful? Will my new business will my new business be successful? Yes. Was Jesus a straw man? Yes. Was Jesus a straw man? Yes. I don't have an opinion about Toth. I haven't done enough study. Haven't done enough study. All right, we'll be back later with some more information. Until then, I'm Jeffrey Darty, bringing you the gospel truth about soul farms. Namaste. Be excellent to yourself. Be excellent to each other.